Welcome back to Attack on Titan interview part 7. This one we're reviewing the second OVA for not second, the 7th OVA for Attack on Titan, Wall Sana Goodbye Part 2. Yeah, this one pretty much adapts parts 3 through 5 of the actual Wall Shana the Lost Girls manga. Yep, that's pretty much what this thing does. I gotta say, it's a really interesting story with whatchamacallit. Yeah, the thing picks up right where the last one left off, basically back in December, with Annie trying to stop a drunk guy from entering an apartment she's in with a dead body. Yeah, and the guy named Kemper. Yeah, the Kemper is the guy's name. hmm Yep. Yeah. So she goes out and looks for, trying to report to superiors about what she found. And then she runs into a guy that was referenced via a line in the last part about a well dressed man in an antique hat and a glass eye. Yeah, the glass eye is red. So they talk for a bit, and, basically, prior to that, his henchman empties out her pocket, which basically takes her notebook and her ring, which that comes into play in the final arc that's seen in the anime in season 1. hmm Yep. Anime from the anime's point of view, this particular this particular OVA takes place between episodes 16 and 17 of the anime. Yeah, it takes place between those particular arcs. Yeah, that's when pretty much this whole thing takes place. And when they get into the carriage, I think it's the different carriage that she rode before, where she's supposed to go back to Strauss Mountain. Instead, basically, Lou, that's the guy with the fedora, and he's asking her questions. It's a really interesting scene, and then yeah, he said she's taken to the this water mud thing to sort of bury her alive, and she says, "Okay, before you do that, can I ask you a favor? Can I have my ring back, please?" And this is the same ring that she basically uses in the last arc. The same ring that has this little sharp thing, which basically, if she gets cut by it, she turns to a Titan, which in this one she partially turns into her female Titan form. Well, her arm, anyways, which she uses it to break out of her bonds. And of course, she also gets, she interrogates the guy briefly, and when he's just about to tell her where the woman she's looking for, Carly Strout's been looking for, I think the girl, she gets shot twice through the back and comes out right through, just below her chest. Twice. Now, any normal person, this would kill them. But since Annie is a Titan, yeah, she perfectly survives, despite the fact she's been like crazy. hmm Yep. So, yeah, she pretty much gets basically the information, follows the henchman, beats up the guy's, his own henchman. And when I look at this guy, I thought there was another character in here who kind of looked like Aaron. Physically, the way he looked, he kind of looked like Aaron. Maybe it was a goof in the animator's part, but yeah, he kind of looked like Aaron. Then she found Carly Stroutzman, and she's perfectly fine. She's not being held against someone she's seen smoking, and the whole smoking thing that comes to play later. And of course, before she goes, can I have a drink with her? Fine. Has a drink with her. A conversation turns out she's actually the one who created the drug that was actually mentioned in part 1. And, she basically came with the formula, and she told her father not to sell in the capital, and then she found out that he sold in the capital. That's why she ran away from him. And so, gave it up. So she basically kind of, left town via a note that, Annie gave her. Originally, she was planning to leave town with Kemper, but he got killed by her father. Yeah, this was revealed later. And, well, she files a report. She gets away. And of course, Strauss he basically agrees to help Annie sort of dispose the body and get rid of most of the drugs. And, well, this whole two-part takes place in the course of like one day. Yep. That's pretty much what this thing is. Yeah, it adapts three chapters of Walsh of the Lost Girls. Yeah, it pretty much, yeah, it's the third to fifth chapter. Yeah, it's like three parts, which isn't too bad. Most anime basically do this, and I gotta say, this particular two-parter was really good, covering the first five chapters of the Lost Girls manga. I originally heard that the next part was going to be called Misuka's chapter. That's what I heard that promotion-wise. And then I heard it was changed to Eren for some reason. Which this one is supposed to take place not long after Eren rescued Mitsuka from kidnappers. The whole thing with a plane. Yeah. So, pretty much the way this particular OVA ends is with Annie finally files report, and then pretty much the last thing you see before the thing ends is you see her. She's in her female Titan form, and she's running off into episode 17 of the anime. So overall, great episode, and of course you see flashbacks of her childhood with her father. It says, like, at the complete mission, can you please come home? And she has no problem basically filling a promise. So this was by far a great anime, like I said, and there is one more OVA for Lost Girls, but it's not coming out until August. I'm not kidding about that. Basically, it's not coming out until August 9th. Yeah, I originally thought this was going to come out in July, but then probably because the anime just announced it's going to be coming out. Now, I heard the release date, finally. It's going to release in July. That's the only thing we know about it, and we knew that it was going to adapt the Uprising. Apparently, it's definitely going to adapt the Uprising and the Falling arc, which basically is kind of, well, wrapping up most of the manga anyways. Yeah, it's going to have 40 chapters, and it did confirm it's going to be 24 episodes, which that made a lot of people very happy. And, well, not only that, but also there was talk of censorship thing because moving to a public network. Yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about censorship. Yeah, we don't have to worry about that. Now, as for the current arc, my personal guess is of when they're going to start adapting this one. This is just a theory. They're probably not going to adapt it until probably this arc is finished. The current arc is right now only 15 chapters in, so not enough time for another season. So not until season 4 we get a chance to see this particular arc adapted. So my personal guess, probably next year at most when this thing comes out. Yeah. All right, now talk about the newest chapter for Attack on Titan. Chapter 104, Victor. Yeah, thing starts off with some ruins and a dead body, and we see the Colossal Titan. Yep, Armin in his Colossal Titan form because he got this toward the end of the previous arc when he was injured, and apparently the only way to save him was to inject him with the Titan formula. And, well, he got that, but then turned it back into human. He ate the guy who was the previous host to the previous guy who was the Colossal Titan, Barnet. Yeah, he's actually referenced in this chapter as well. And I gotta say, for Artie's Colossal Titan form, it's very incomplete. Yeah, you see a lot of bone structure. Yeah, and basically it looks like the muscle around the neck is missing for some reason. Yeah, normally because basically the Colossal Titan is a skinless Titan, and overall out of all the Titans, this one is by far the tallest one at 60 feet tall. Yeah, 60 feet tall. It's even taller than the wall seen back in the pilot of the series, and of course the first chapter. Yep. So you see Arnie Kirsi gets out of his Colossal Titan form. Yeah, and of course, well, apparently the wall country has, well, a blimp. Yep, they have a blimp, aka an airship. As for when in the world they developed this thing, probably sometime during the time skip. They did not. It does not specifically say it's like, okay, we have an airship. They kind of hit this in the last chapter, and he says Bard, and we see, well, it looks like Gene jumping off a building at the Cart Titan to take on, well, its host. Cart Titan, appearance-wise, well, there's another Jaw Titan here. They do mention Ymir in this particular chapter, and of course, Armin does something well in this chapter, which I'll get to that soon. He does something very gruesome. Well, first, Gene takes out the host of the Cart Titan. He tries to, misses. I think it's loading. And, well, as for Eren, he actually does something different. Now, this was referenced a couple chapters back when Mitsuka, well, asks to come home. Of course, he goes with him. So, you see, like, well, the host of it being brought out. He says, oh yeah, it's a human form of the Cart Titan, which, like the Warhammer Titan, it's a woman. Yep, a woman who, appearance-wise, I'm looking at her, she has looked like a similar look to that of Annie. Yeah, same type of nose. I think because, well, it's the same creator, he probably based her face on Annie because it can't be Annie, because Annie is in the basement of one of the cities. Yeah, in one of the walls. So, that's basically where she... So, we see the, I think it's Mars soldiers, yeah, try and take out, well, the Survey Corps. And we see Eren's Titan, his Attack Titan, that's what it's been officially dubbed as, take on the new Jaw Titan. Takes on a good fight, takes up like several pages of the chapter. Yeah, then eventually he takes the host of the Warhammer Titan, puts the crystal form in the Jaw Titan's mouth, and then uses it to kill the female host, effectively getting rid of the Warhammer Titan, something that they've been around for a few chapters at this point. So at least Eren didn't eat it. He tried to eat it in another chapter, but luckily enough he was stopped. Definitely was. He takes on the Jaw Titan, beats the crap out of it. Now, Reiner himself is in this chapter. This is the first time since chapter 99 he's actually shown up. So it's been a good, I'd say, 6 chapters. Yeah, 6 chapters showing up. And he's already his Armor Titan form. And he's doing virtually nothing. Yep. He says, I just want peace. Oh yeah, and he's still wearing his military uniform. Well, in the Titan form. Oh, I forgot the town is called Marley. Yeah, that's the name of the country, Marley. And then we see, looks like the Cart Titan, looks like healing. Yeah, she's healing. And a couple of the kids who popped up during this whole arc, yeah, they take her to safety inside one of the houses. And they didn't want, well, they want to go out and basically take out, well, the Survey Corps. They don't. And Hughes shows up in this chapter. And she's got an eye patch for some reason. Yeah, I don't remember exactly the reasoning why she lost her eye, because it's been a while since I read the previous arc, so yeah. And we see the airship, get a good look at the inside. Yeah, and yeah, it looks like a traditional airship we would see from like World War I era. Well, World War I, World War II. If you ever see like a film set in like World War I, World War II, and you have blimps, and basically that's what we call them, blimps, despite the fact this is an airship. And this is how they traditionally look. Basically, the metal inside, a metal interior. Yeah. As for when in the world Hughes basically got a chance to build this thing, no idea. Oh yeah, and I basically looking at this character, and a lot of people believe that this is a woman, and the writer is never officially confirmed if this is a male or female. Despite the fact it's got a male name, it's a woman. Yep, it's a woman who blushes at seeing a Titan. Though she's currently the commander of the Survey Corps. Yeah, she took over after Erwin Smith retired, basically due to losing his leg. Yeah, because of the fact he lost his leg, so he could command Survey Corps anymore. So Krista, aka Historia Ross, the ruler of the Walled Cities, she basically appointed her as the new leader of the Survey Corps. Mm-hmm. So the forces of Marley notices that the Survey Corps is going to escape via airship. The Jaw Titan tries to take out, well, I think it's Mitsuka. Yep. And of course Mitsuka slices up this Titan's legs. Armin comes in with the host of the War Titan, rips up Thing's arm, shoves the host of the Warhammer Titan in his mouth, and then uses his mouth to kill the female host. Yep, kills the female host. And it's also implied that he sort of has the... look at this chapter. It kind of looks like he's drinking the blood. Yeah, kind of a disgusting scene. Because look at this. Here's the Jaw Titan basically crushing the host of the female Titan in his mouth, the host of the Warhammer Titan in his mouth, and the blood pours right in his mouth. It's kind of like what you do whenever you drink something. It's kind of similar to a scene you would see something from Tokyo Ghoul. I have no idea why in the world that the arse was a good idea, but okay, it's the most gruesome thing I've seen for the series so far. And of course, while the Warhammer Titan is being eaten, yeah, it's implied that he ate it, but, well, looking at it, yeah, definitely that the Warhammer Titan, yeah, it's dead. Yep, it's dead. So, and they're all like, Reiner, save him! Yeah, that's what the kids are like, Mr. Guard's about to eat, hurry up and save him! And of course, we see him in his Armor Titan form. It's like, so noisy. Let me be at peace. It's like he doesn't want to fight his old friend at all. For some reason. As for when in the world he went to his Armor Titan form, no idea, because last I saw him, he basically saw Eren for the first time in like a few years, and then Eren goes to his Titan form and he's never seen again, and he pops up in this chapter. Yep. And he briefs the Carton Titan host, and it looks like that Eren's about to like bite into like where the host is for the news Jaw Titan, and I think he's stopped by Mitsuka. Mm-hmm. If this thing can load up here. Yeah, basically Mitsuka decides to take him away. It's like, let's go home. There we go, that's better. Yeah. Here's, well, Reiner in his Armor Titan form, and man, it looks, I mean, look at this thing. It looks completely different. The badass look it had during the arc that was seen in Season 2. And it looks like that, well, the Armor Titans look like it's slimmed down, looks like it lost a few pieces, and it still has Reiner's face. No idea why in the world that the artist... It's like the artist got... It looks really good, but what the heck happened to Reiner to make him look like this? It's so freaking weird. Mm-hmm. And we see him briefly get into a fight with Eren, and then Eren's like, yeah, my shake's we gotta end this quickly. Mitsuka carries him away via airship. Via, like, get him out of there, and Court drags him away. And he agrees, like, yeah, it's time to go home. As for how long he's been in Marley, they don't really say. My personal theory, he's probably been there for a good, like, year, I'd say. Being in the country of Marley. Mm-hmm. Mitsuka, who's still wearing her scarf that Eren gave her back when they were children, yeah, she still wears it despite the fact she's wearing completely different attire. Yep. These two kids, I don't remember their names now, because, well, it's been a while since I've read some of these chapters, so yeah. Yeah, the Armor Titan is defeated but not killed. Yeah, defeated for the first time because, well, when Eren first fought the Armor Titan back in the, I think it was the, what was the name of that arc? It was, well, it was whatever the arc was for season 6, which covered chapters 34 through like 51. I don't remember the name of the arc, but yeah. So takes him out of there. He actually beats him pretty easily. Like, let's go. And of course, he flies away. Okay, and then it said they're retreating. We've been saved. These two kids, well, one of them takes a gun. It's like, yeah, they got to shoot bullets into Armin. And then pretty much the chapter ends. Looks like it's Jean covering the retreat of the Survey Corps. And that's how the chapter ends. So, pretty good chapter. And I'm going to read the next chapter like right after I upload this video. So, I'll get my thoughts on the newest chapter that just came out in special number 5. Yes, actually special number 4 because, well, special number 1 covered 102, 3 covered 103, and 102 covered 1, 103, 2, and 3 basically. Actually, you know what? I think it's be special number 3 because, well, I covered the last chapter roughly about a couple months ago. What do I give this chapter? I give it a 9.5 out of 10. It's a really good chapter, and it very much advances the plot forward. Because if you read this arc, if you start with chapter 91, you're like, where in the world is the familiar characters? It takes like about 5 chapters and for Rainer to show up, and then Eren doesn't show up to chapter 98, and then it takes a good 2 chapters. Yeah, I think it then takes like good 3 chapters after that for Mitsuka to show up, and then like the following chapter for the rest of the characters to show up. So, as of now, all the familiar characters who are alive have showed up post time skip. And from what I know about basically how the Titans work, Eren basically got this Titan form when he was 10. He's looking like he's about 19 right now, so I've heard because it's 13 years, he doesn't have much time at all. He has roughly about 4 years of his life left. Yeah, 4 years left because of the fact he has Titan formula in him, and because of the 13-year thing, that he's probably going to live till he's about 23. But because he has 2 Titan powers in him, he might live a little bit longer. Because, well, 13 years, so he could live to be in his mid-30s. As for Armin, he's only been a Titan for a few years, and he doesn't go Titan form very much, and looks like he doesn't much experience in it. So he probably, because he got probably 15, so he probably will live till he's about 28 at most. Because, well, Mitsuka, Armin, and Eren are all 15, but after they have the first time skip. Now they're all 19. Well, Levi is probably in his mid-30s by now. I'd say, well, because it was stated by the writer of the series that when you first see him, he's in his early 30s. When you see him now, he's probably his mid to late 30s. And the guy is still single, and the woman who had a thing for him was killed by Annie. Yeah, the character Petra, the red-haired girl from his group, the one who was killed during, well, the last expedition they did. Yeah, it was later revealed after she died that she was in love with him. Told him, he figured this out after she died, and he was told this by her father. Yeah, it would have been interesting, but there's that. So, that's really it for this episode. Stay tuned for special number 4, where I definitely cover chapter 105. And I'll read that as soon as I put this up, okay? Might do some next video. Bye.